When Minecraft 1.3 dropped, it brought a ton of fun features. Ender chests, the first instance of emerald ore, and most importantly, desert and jungle pyramids. Did you know they're called jungle pyramids? I didn't. Back in 2013, I played on an SMP, and despite jungle temples looking kind of bland, my base was literally located inside of one just for the flex of being near chiseled stone bricks. I had dreams of renovating my little home, but back then I sucked at Minecraft, and I never actually did. Today, that changes. Since 2013, I have learned a great deal about how to use mods to improve my building experience. Carpet for clipping through blocks, Tweakeroo for the adjustable zoom, WorldEdit for large-scale builds, and, more recently, Axiom for insane levels of cursed but pretty nice micro-detailing. Even after using Axiom for a month, I feel like I'm still barely scratching the surface. So what better way to experiment with this wonderful combination of mods than to use them to renovate one of Minecraft's oldest and most boring structures ever? Now, I'm sure you've seen renovation videos before, but I can guarantee you've never seen one like this. While we will be increasing the size of the temple, and although we'll be using Carpet, Tweakeroo, and WorldEdit, we're going to be largely focusing on micro-detailing, using Axiom's Tinker, Force Place, and No Update tools to make an incredibly unique build in a style that I can confidently say you have never seen before. This project will be split into 3 parts. In part 1, we'll collect ideas and create any assets that we might want for this project. Foliage, pillars, ruins of pillars, you name it. Getting everything ready for part 2, where we will break down the original Minecraft structure and amass everything we made in part 1 into one cohesive build. Part 3 is the most crucial part, where we will retexture a majority of the build, as well as add custom trees and vines and take some really scenic shots that showcase what we've made. Now that you understand the 3 parts, let's not waste any more time and get to making this jungle temple shine like it has never before. As we mentioned, part 1 consisted of finding unique ways to create cursed but really interesting decoration tricks, and we found quite a few. Okay, this is really cursed, but bear with me. Does this kinda look like a villager? It's such a small scale, but I kinda try to make like a tiny villager. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of cool, right? We found out that if you take something like sweet berries, you can do this with just your hand with Tinker. It's really cool. You can like right click this and change the states it's in. You can then use something like this as leaves in a tree. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Like, how cool is that? That's kind of cool. It's a little floating candle holder. I never even tried that. I was thinking of using waxed weathered copper as a kind of like a jade stone. I was thinking that this could be kind of the block that we use to kind of add a little bit more color. If I place carrots down like this, I could change the age of carrots. Isn't that cool? Just a weird looking grass block. That's really cool. Yeah, I feel like there's potential there. Big carrot! Comically large turnip!
Yeah, this bridge is really dripped out. Such a dripped out bridge. So cool.
Ending part 1 with such a lame pun feels a little wrong, but we had to move on to part 2. Part 2 started out simple enough. We had to find a jungle temple to update, but after looking for a little bit, I realized that Minecraft terrain is kind of boring. So instead of finding a spot, we used Axiom to edit the terrain, expanding the jungle biome and removing all the trees in the area. Once we cleared out and edited the area substantially, it was time to start working on the actual jungle temple, or pyramid, but it's not a pyramid though. We imported a jungle pyramid and started creating the build palette. Now, until they became craftable in 1.9, jungle temples were the only source of chiseled stone bricks in the game, and that, along with the half cobblestone, half mossy cobblestone palette, made me want to feature those 3 blocks prominently. I also love me some mossy stone bricks, so we're going to use those heavily as well. Build palette is coming along. I think this is starting to turn out pretty well. I'm going to start with my quintessential pillar. People say circles aren't possible in Minecraft. I have a counter offer. Circle. I have to make sure that I space these apart correctly, otherwise it's going to look very bad. Something cool about these walls, right? See these walls? Is that they're actually perfectly halfway down the block, which means it is the same width as a stair. Like, look at that. That looks pretty cursed. And I feel like there's a lot of potential to use this somehow. Something like that. I feel like that has potential. Oh, that's nice. And it'll look even better once we start texturing up these pillars. I think that'll be dope. Slowly but surely, we plugged along until we had the entire wing of the temple completed. By bending the walls and stairs into unnatural shapes, we were able to cram a ton of detailing into a small area. And trust me when I say that when we texture them later, they will look even better. The next stage I wanted to tackle was the main entrance. Because of how much detailing we had already put into just one of the sides of the building, I wanted what was going to be in the center to be really impressive. Alright, guys, here's where we have to pay attention. Here is where we're going to introduce the block that is going to make this good. Waxed, weathered, cut copper. Just you wait. This was me eyeballing a circle. Beautiful, simple circle, Mr. Max Mondays. That's too small, too small. We'll like do something like this. Something like this. Give it a little bit more of a rounding, you know? In a roundabout way. On the second day of this project, I realized I wasn't entirely content with how the elbow of this building turned out the day prior. My first step was to create another prototype, and if it was good enough, copy it over to the other side. I think I like the idea of using these pillar heads still, which maybe is where I was going wrong last time. That just looks so weird. The fact that those are vanilla blocks, crazy. I kind of like this pillar, so I'm thinking I want to use it a little bit more, something like that. I was pretty satisfied with how the left side of the structure turned out, so we copied it over to the right side, and it was finally time for my favorite part of building: texturing. Texturing included adding vines and trees around and on the structure. Using custom trees I made with Inventor PWP about a year ago, I had a solid start to some great jungle plants. But by using Axiom's no update and force place tools, I was able to add jungle saplings, bamboo, and even drip leaf stem blocks as vines. I kind of like that. I think that adds a little bit more definition to it. Afterwards, we dotted the trees around the start of our temple after using WorldEdit to coat it in leaves. I thought it turned out amazing, and with the outskirts completed, I thought it was time to beautify the front using the carrot trick that we discovered in part 1. Speaking of, if you're somebody new who's only just discovering the channel, we're trying to hit 14 quadrillion subscribers by the end of the month. So if you'd like to help out with that goal, feel free to subscribe. It would be much appreciated. Much love, guys. And what I think we're gonna do is actually make it mostly carrot, and then we'll add the beetroot in later. Ain't that cool? Look at this cool little like gradient thing we did with the we're gonna turn off shaders. Whoa! Oh my gosh! What have I done? What if I do this now? That was fun. I suppose we should probably actually get back to work, but like that was a fun little detour. Unfortunately, it wasn't all fun and games, and that little Axiom bug had nothing on the pain that WorldEdit was about to inflict on my fragile psyche. Let's do something like that, and then let's replace mossy cobblestone to like stone. Why do I even have WorldEdit? Oh my gosh, no! Do you know how much time that took? Too much time, my friends. Too much time. As I begrudgingly redid all the grass, I didn't even realize that we were almost done with part 3. In fact, after we finished replacing all that grass, I only then realized that we were in fact completely done. Ladies and gentlemen, let's forget all about that old jungle pyramid, and I give you the jungle temple. Ugh, I could not be more stoked with how this turned out. Thank you to everybody who stopped by the stream and gave suggestions on how to improve it. If this video gets 5 likes, I'll upgrade another Minecraft structure, so comment what you would like to see down below. The world download of this build will be available for all my members on Patreon. Speaking of, a huge thank you to my wonderful Patreon, Skeeter, Milky, Grant Charskin, Era, iDog Ninjax, Broski, Jomies, Bahu, and iHackSorry, as well as all of my wonderful channel members for supporting the channel. And always remember that dark clouds are gathering and the end is nigh. Peace.